Yo, what is everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to go over 8 editing mistakes in Final Cut Pro 10. Now, some of these mistakes are big, small, kind of in the middle. These are a couple of different things that I wish I knew when I first started editing. I've been editing pretty seriously for the last couple of years, and I just want to go over a couple of things that I just wish I knew in the beginning. And the first thing I want to go over is organization. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the timestamps to all the different things that I talk about in the description below, so if you want to jump to certain points. So the first one I want to go over is organization, and basically organization with folders. So all you want to do is you want to click on here, so right click and create a new folder right there. So if I head over here, 3D photo effect, so I create a folder, and then I put these subfolders inside the folder right here. So as you can see right here, there are a whole bunch of different things inside the folder, which are just subfolders. Now, why is this important? Well, if I head over here to import right here, and I import my 3D folder right here, you want to make sure that you have these settings copied right here. So files, leave files in place, and then keywords from folders right here. So make sure you just copy all of these settings right here, keywords from folders, files, leave files in place right there. Now, why is this important? If I go over here to the event right here and I scroll down this down arrow, as you can see, here are all the different keywords. So let's say in that 3D photo effect, okay, I want to find the voiceover. Well, instead of just going and scrolling through down here until you find the voiceover, let's scroll down to the keywords right here, voiceover, and there you go. It just basically really helps identify all these different keywords. So that's just a really helpful tip. Now let's say, for example, this is something that I didn't know. Let's say for this photo right here, I have all these photos, but wait, I'm working with someone, the client wants to add another photo, or maybe I want to add another photo. How do I put this into the keyword section even though I've already imported? Well, I'm going to go ahead and just exit out of Final Cut Pro 10 right here. Now here's the photo that I want to add. This photo right here of Malcolm Butler. So when I go to the 3D photo effect, take the Malcolm Butler photo and put it into the photo right here. So put it into that photo subfolder right here, and I'm going to open up Final Cut Pro 10. Now I'm not exactly sure how Final Cut Pro 10 reads it, but I'm pretty sure it just has to do with the file names. So if I scroll over here, I'll let Final Cut Pro 10 export open right there. As you can see, where's the Malcolm Butler photo? I have to go ahead and go back to import right here, make sure those settings are copied. Now I'm going to go down here and scroll down here and go to photos right here, click on photos right here, import selected right here. Now if I scroll over here, as you can see, let's go down to photos. There it is. There's the Malcolm Butler photo. So you can import folders again, and it's still going to be under the keyword, and it's just going to add files that weren't in there previously. Now if I import that photo folder again, nothing's going to happen because all those files are already imported. Final Cut Pro 10 does not duplicate files, which I didn't know, and I wish I'd known about that earlier. Now if you want to organize your footage, you want to create new libraries, all you want to do is head over here to File, New, either create a new library, create an event, or create a project. Remember, it goes, this is the library, this is the event, and then this is the project right there. Now the next thing I want to go over is editing to the beat. Now this is a mistake that I made early on, and I'm sure a lot of people made this mistake too. Now I'm going to go ahead and just go over a couple little pointers that I have written down for when editing to the beat. Now these are just a couple of things that I do. The first thing I want to do is create a gap clip. So go ahead and click on Option W to create a gap clip. What a gap clip does right here is it avoids the magnetic timeline. So I can move the clips around without it snapping together. So that's a really helpful tip. I'll just create a gap clip so I can just organize all of my different clips. Another helpful tip that I found was using the instrumental version of the music. I find it's much easier to see the beat when using the instrumental version. Obviously, you might not always have access to the instrumental version, but if you can, use the instrumental version because it's easier to see the beat. And of course, as you can see right here, you want to turn up the volume so you can actually see the beat, and then of course use Command plus to zoom in, zoom out to better see the beat. Another helpful tip too, if I go ahead and you would just want to go ahead and play it right here and just press M on the keyboard to kind of just eyeball where the beats are. So just kind of listen to get a good understanding of where the beats are and kind of the pacing of the music, and of course use the right and left arrow keys to go more frame by frame. Those are just a couple little tips that I found are really helpful. But again, at the end of the day, the best tip is to just play it right here and just listen to the music, and every time you hear a beat, just press M on the keyboard to create a marker, and then as you can see right here, use the left and right arrow keys to fine tune it, and of course listen to the music. Obviously I'm not going to do that because it's going to clash with the voiceover. Now the next thing I want to go over is presets and LUTs. Now I wish I had known about this early on because it would have saved me a lot of time I'm sure it's going to save you a lot of time. So I'm going to go ahead and click an adjustment layer right here. Now if you're following along, you're saying, wait a minute, I don't have an adjustment layer. I'm going to go ahead and put the download link to it in the description below. It should be completely free from what I remember. I don't believe it costs any money. It's from Ryan Nagel. So basically what the adjustment layer does is everything below the adjustment layer is affected. So I'll go over to color right here, go to custom LUT right here. So I'll just drag the custom LUT onto the adjustment layer right here, and then I can go over here, and then I can just, as you can see right here, I can now add a custom LUT. And as you can see, if I go ahead and play it right here, it affects everything under the adjustment layer right there. So obviously, you can make more adjustments, but that's what it is right there. Now obviously you can go to LUT right here and click like reveal in Finder if you want to add a whole bunch of different LUTs. Reveal Finder, you can click recent, choose custom LUT, so you can basically just kind of add your own custom LUTs right there. So that's just a really helpful tool to add custom LUTs. Now you can actually create your own custom LUT. So if I head over here and go to this right here, go to color board, let's say I want to crank up the saturation, and I want to change the color to like this bluish color, teal color right here. I can actually go ahead, click on save effects preset, and we'll just call this test right here, and then select which effects you want. Click on save right here. I'll go ahead and wait for it to render a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on the clip right here, and I'm going to delete this. Let's say you want to use that LUT in the future. All you got to do is scroll down to the color section right here, go to color right here, and then as you can see, we'll go ahead, and there it is, test right here. So as you can see right there, I can just apply the LUT right there. Now if you're wondering how do I delete the LUT, right click on it, reveal in Finder, click on the preset you want to delete, command delete, and there you go, you can delete your own preset. I didn't know you could do that in the beginning. Now if I head to the effects panel, go to color, as you can see the LUT is completely deleted. Another really helpful tool is using audio presets. Now I have an audio preset for every single one of my tutorials, including this one that I'm making right now. So if I go ahead, scroll down, go to Apple right here, as you can see I can go ahead and just apply this audio preset to the clip. If I go to the audio section right here, as you can see there's a channel EQ, compressor, and channel EQ, and it's the same thing you would do for the color. So I just want to turn up the volume right here, click on the save effects preset. As you can see right there, I can save the effect. The audio preset is the exact same thing as the color preset right there. So it's always a good idea to use LUTs and presets, because it's just going to speed up your workflow. The next thing I'm going to go over is animation and keyframing. So if I play this clip right here, as you can see, Patrick Mahomes slides in. But as you can see, that's a very kind of like harsh slide in, and I don't think that looks really cool. So what you can do is you want to go ahead and add motion blur. Again, I will put this plugin link in the description below. Basically what motion blur plugin does exactly what it says. It basically creates blur on any sort of motion right here. So if I go ahead and play the clip right here, as you can see right there, you can see a whole bunch of motion with the clip right there, and that just looks a lot smoother right there. Another thing you can do that I found that really helps, I'll go ahead, go to transform right here, I'll go ahead and scale out right here. I found that actually changing the keyframe path to linear right here helps. Now as you can see right there, wouldn't smooth be easier? Well, that depends on the type of animation you're creating. See, Patrick Mahomes is just sliding from the left to the right, so I find having a straight linear keyframe path makes it look a lot better. So it depends on the animation you're doing. If it's just going in a straight line, just use the linear on the keyframe path right there. Now one thing that I also found in terms of animation, this isn't to do with keyframing, but it's something different, is I found using the Ken's burn effect for the scale animation looks a lot better. The scale keyframing on Final Cut doesn't really work that well. I don't really like it. So go to crop right here, go to the Ken Burns effect right here. As you can see right there, that's what it looks like right there. Go ahead and reverse it if you want. I've already made a video on the Ken Burns effect, so if you want to see that in more detail. But as you can see right there, it just scales. Now obviously you want to add motion blur, but I found using the Ken's burn effect, the scale looks better when you're using the Ken's burn effect rather than just keyframing the scale in Final Cut. That's my personal opinion, but I just think that looks a lot better. Another thing you can do too, you can actually show video animations. So if I scroll right here, this would have been really helpful on the beginning. So if I right click on show video animations, as you can see, here's a keyframe here right here, and then here's the keyframe right there. Being able to show video animations, I have found has really helped me, just so you don't have to worry about forgetting where you actually place the keyframe. Another tip that I have found to be really helpful when I'm editing audio is this solo audio feature. So you want to click on the audio you want to select, click on this little headphone icon right here, and then click on this audio meter. As you can see, it just isolates that audio right there. So you can see right there that's playing way too loud. So let's turn it down to like -40 decibels right there. And that's obviously a lot quieter because that's just used as background music. So let's go ahead and play this clip right here, isolate the audio right here, and as you can see right there, it's a little quieter than this just got test, but I'll go ahead and crank it up right here. As you can see, the audio is playing a little bit louder, and of course, you know, I can crank it up even louder. But I found this feature is really helpful. So all you want to do is click on the clip you want to listen to, and then isolate the audio, and it will only play the audio of the clip selected, and I found that to be really helpful. You can also click V to disable the clip right here. That's another useful tip. Now basically what you want to do is a talking head. Every time someone's talking, it usually want to be around -6 and -12 decibels, and then your music can be anywhere around there, but basically talking you want to be between -6 and -12 decibels, so right in this area right here. Now the next tip is really helpful, and what I mean by really helpful, I mean because I didn't know this, it cost me an entire video. Because I didn't know this is how you do it, it legitimately cost me an entire video, and I had to scrap an entire video because I made this mistake. So go ahead and just import the photo right here. So you can see right here, here is the Tyreek Hill photo right here. Let's go ahead and just scale out right here. As you can see, there's Tyreek Hill photo 1. Everything looks perfectly normal. Now if I exit out of Final Cut Pro 10 and then I go right here, Tyreek Hill photo 1, I'll go ahead and delete this file right here. Now I honestly in the beginning didn't realize that by deleting a file off your computer, it deleted off a Final Cut. I just thought when you imported a file, it was just saved, and it didn't matter what I did to the original file, how wrong I was in the beginning, and I learned from my mistake. But as you can see, you say, wait a minute, it says missing file. What just happened? I just deleted the file. Well, here's where I made the mistake. I just scrapped the entire project because I deleted the entire project from my computer, so I thought it's unsafe, unsalvageable, I can't do anything about it. Don't do that. Keep your project, it's perfectly fine. Now what you want to do is I'm going to go ahead and just as you see right here, I'll just go ahead and I'm just going to plug in my LaCie hard drive right there. So sorry for the the background noise, but what I just did was I just plugged in my LaCie hard drive, and this is why it's always good to save duplicates of your project. Now if I go over to YouTube video right here, go to Final Cut Pro 10 tutorial, scroll down until I find YouTube intro right here, go to Tyreek Hill photo 1. That's why it's always important. It's why you always hear people say create backups of your project just in case you delete it. I didn't know you could do this. I thought once the missing file thing popped up, it was impossible to get that file back. All you have to do is just put the files back into place and let Final Cut Pro load up. As you can see right there, voila. The clip is perfectly fine, it's back into place. So you don't want to delete your clip, but if you delete your clip by accident, don't panic. Find the duplicate, put it back into place, and the file is going to be perfectly fine. Now this tip is really important, and what I'm going to do with this one is deleting render files. So what you want to do is you want to click on go right here, go to home, double click movies, and then right click on show package contents right here, and then go to your event right here, and as you can see, render files, high quality media. Now delete all these render files. Now because I didn't know how to do this, I had 900 gigabytes of render files, and I'm not joking when I said that. I literally had 900 gigabytes of render files. I had so many render files that Final Cut just kept crashing because there wasn't even enough storage on my computer to run Final Cut, as ridiculous as that sounds. So that's how you delete render files. So click on go, home, double click movies, they're here, show package contents, go to event, render files, high quality media. Now another thing you can do too, there might be another method, but this is the only method I found, is go ahead, click on your library right here, and then delete a library. That's how you delete a library as far as I know. I haven't found a better method for deleting a library, so let's go over there and just click on move to trash if you want to delete your entire library. Let's say you're just done with the library, you don't need it anymore. Another thing to do, if you want to delete a project, just right click on it and click move to trash. Click on this right here and click on command delete in order to delete, as you can see right here, move event to trash, just in case you want to delete an event, project, or library. Now I want to go over another tip that cost me another video. I made this mistake and it cost me another video. As you can see, a pattern. A lot of these mistakes literally cost me entire videos because I had no idea how to fix them, because nobody made videos covering these topics. Now a couple things I want to go over is Final Cut Pro 10 crashing, how to fix it and why it happens. Now one of the big reasons I corrupted an entire project basically due to this reason. If your computer isn't the fastest, or even if you have a faster computer, anytime you do a big effect or anytime you apply a big overlay or something like that, wait for Final Cut Pro 10 to render. Don't import like 2 hours of footage, start applying effects, transitions, all of a sudden, really fast. Anytime you're doing something big, wait for Final Cut Pro 10 to render before you move on to the next big effect, or else your project might get corrupted. So just let Final Cut Pro render your big effect and then work on the next big effect. I didn't do that. I imported like 2 hours of footage and then immediately applied effects onto it. The entire project got corrupted and it didn't work. Now a couple of things you can do too is you can go to here, go to File, Open Library, and then from Backups right here. If your entire library got corrupted, you can try to open a backup. That may not always work, but that's one method. Now here's something that I didn't know, and it cost me an entire video like I said before. So make sure you always pay attention to the name of your project. And if you're not sure about this, go ahead and test the project first. If you're not sure about effect, test the project and I'll show you what I mean. So here's a 3D orientation effect. Seems harmless, right? I'm going to go over here, place 3D orientation, nothing happens. I'm going to go ahead and place a keyframe right here, go ahead a little bit, and then I'm going to just keyframe the y-axis right here. As you can see, nothing happens. Final Cut Pro 10 renders it perfectly fine, and when I first tried this effect, I was like, yeah, seems perfectly fine. As you can see right there, it just keyframes right here, perfectly fine, nothing significant happens right there. Well, man oh man was I wrong. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of Final Cut Pro 10, and let's just say around this moment I had a complete panic attack because I thought I honestly just broke Final Cut Pro 10. I thought I had to re-download. So let's open up Final Cut Pro, see what happens, and as you can see, Final Cut Pro 10, voila, it crashes. The entire program crashes. I kept opening Final Cut 10, 15, 20 times and it kept crashing. So how in the world do you fix this problem? Well, that's what I spent 3 or 4 hours in a complete panic attack trying to figure out. What you want to do is, you see right here, don't try to reopen it. It's not going to work. So let's go to Go right here, click on Go, click on Home right here, double click on Movies right here, go ahead, click on Show Package Contents, go to Event, and then find the project. So as you can see right here, 3D Photo Effect, 3D Spin Effect. And I believe that's the name of the project. So go ahead and just delete the project right here. So you can see right there, I just deleted the project that had the 3D orientation effect. Now this should work. Now open up Final Cut Pro 10 and it should work perfectly fine. Now I said remember the file. I honestly forgot the name of the project, but I think this should work. There you go. So if I click on it right here, wait for Final Cut Pro 10 to open up right here. Scroll down, as you can see, there we go. The 3D orientation effect is done. The project is deleted, Final Cut opens. So sometimes an entire project gets deleted, maybe an event gets deleted, a library gets corrupted. If you can't open Final Cut and you keep opening and nothing happens, that means either your project, your event, or your library got corrupted. So try your event, try your project. If your project deleted doesn't fix it, your event is corrupted, delete your event. If you still can't open it, it means your library is corrupted. So just delete your entire library, and yes, you're gonna have to start from scratch. Now another thing you can do too is right click right here and click on Force Quit if Final Cut is completely frozen. Those are a couple tips and tricks that I've learned, and hopefully if you're in one of those situations, hopefully it helps you. But just the big takeaway is if you're applying a really big effect and you're not sure if your computer can run it, try it on a test project first and see if it works. And if it crashes your computer, delete the project and don't apply it onto your main project, because if that's the case, your entire project is corrupted, and yes, you're gonna have to restart, because yes, that's exactly what I had to do. And that's pretty much it. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it helpful and informative. If you're new to this channel, I upload Final Cut Pro 10 tutorials every day at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you enjoy these types of videos, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, a Final Cut Pro 10 tutorial playlist with over 240 Final Cut Pro 10 tutorials. I know this is a long video, but hopefully you found something helpful and something informative in this entire video. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.